Meeting come to order. Dr. First.
Yes, good evening, board members and students and employees. Thank you for being here at this regular scheduled board meeting. I would like to introduce Ms. Janice Hernandez. She's going to lead us in our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance this evening.
Please rise. Heavenly Father, we ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the students, staff, faculty, and parents of Southwest ISD, and continue to remind us that all that we do here today and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, the next thing on the agenda is recognitions.
Yes, sir, we have some students of the month that we would like to recognize, as well as a few other groups of students and a special group of employees. And then we'd like to recognize some efforts in an event that took place in our district last week. So I'd like to turn over to Ms. Hernandez, and I believe we're going to start with our students of the month.
That's right. Students, when I call your name, please rise and come to the center of the room. So our first recognition tonight is from Elm Creek Elementary. Elm Creek Elementary would like to recognize Brisa Najera. Brisa is an amazing student. She is very hardworking, respectful, organized, and punctual. She goes the extra mile and is extremely involved in and out of the classroom. Brisa maintains good grades by completing homework, interactive journals, and classwork. Ms. Najera works well with her peers and sets positive examples for them by making outstanding choices. Elm Creek is very lucky to have her.
Congratulations.
Our next student of the month is from McNair Middle School, Orlando de la Garza. McNair Middle School is proud to recognize an 8th grade student, Orlando de la Garza. Orlando has been a top-performing student for the last 2 years. He has received the Valley High Optimist Award in 6th grade and 7th grade. He has participated in advanced art, mariachi, and athletics. He also has competed Year 1 and Year 2 prep for the pre-freshman engineering program and plans to continue. During his free time, Orlando enjoys playing basketball, soccer, and going fishing. Congratulations. Our next recognition is from Southwest Legacy High School, Fabian Perez. Fabian has truly been the heart and voice of Legacy High School by leading the Legacy Spirit student group and has taken Titan School pride to new heights. Fabian has taken personal responsibility in creating a positive campus environment by assisting in poster decoration, staff appreciation events, setting up flags, and setting up the Titan inflatable for the football games.
Congratulations.
He is also famous for leading chants during the game, exchanging the team gifts, and monitoring the scheduled events during the game. Most notably, Fabian led the school in prayer at the Meet Me at the Pole event, and the entire school was invited. His uplifting personality is known throughout the entire school. He has definitely become an icon amongst the senior class. And among all these responsibilities, he's part of several organizations. I have to mention this: National Junior Honor Society President, Superintendent Advisory Committee, Student Council member, and Spanish Honors Society member. In addition to that, he is able to maintain high academic standards and is currently in the top 10% of his graduating class. He aspires to attend Texas A&M College Station and graduate with a major in political science. Congratulations.
We'd also like like to ask the families of our students of the month, could our family members please stand and be recognized? Of these three pretty phenomenal students, are you here? And also the principals representing these three campuses. I know Mr. Gidry's there, I know he's standing right away, but any of our principals, congratulations to you. We congratulate you and ask you to keep doing a great job and be a role model for the other students. And I know that Mr. Fraser mentioned earlier about a student who was really representing their campus today. And Fabian did a great job. We had visitors from Round Rock ISD and from Klein ISD. And Fabian talked about his experience opening up single-handedly. Southwest, which I think he has played a major role in. But if we could have just captured the words that he used to demonstrate and share his example of being a legacy student, it was gold. So he did a phenomenal job. So thank you for everything all of you students do, and keep doing this. We'd like to bring you back in high school as you guys get older as well. So congratulations.
So our next recognitions is another group of special students. The district just had their very first bowl game, and that was a very exciting event, and it took a lot of hands, but these students that we're going to bring up really kind of led the charge in doing a collaborative effort to make the game a really fun event for everybody. So we would like to bring up a few of the students. For Southwest High School, we have Yasmin Navarro, Braden Pridgeon, Fe Uvideo, and Carolyn Drisi. And for Southwest Legacy High School, we have Cassandra Huerta, Miranda Zuniga, and Fabian Perez. Again, if you come back. Get them together. Do all of them, Roger.
Congratulations.
Do all of them.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Gosh, guy, you're wearing out my hand.
So the reason we wanted to recognize this group of students is their contribution to making sure that the first ever inaugural Fire and Armor Bowl went off without a hitch. And we always talk to the students that there will be a 10-year anniversary and a 25-year anniversary and a 50-year anniversary of this very special event, but there will never be another first. And so the first had to be really special. And if it worked for the students' perspectives and their conversations and what they wanted, it wouldn't have been special. And I promise you, there was over 10,000 people at the event. It was a really great event, and if it weren't for them, it wouldn't start off like it did. So they represent probably hundreds of other students who also had some perspective in framing what that looked like. And so we just wanted to make sure we took the time to say thank you, Southwest High School, thank you, Southwest Legacy High School, 2 high schools, 1 district, and I think you guys really represented that. And so do we have family members of those students here with us tonight as well? Any of our family members of the students are here? You don't have to stand up. But thank you. Y'all did a great job.
Awesome. Our next recognition is a special group of leaders that we have here tonight. October is National Principals Month. National Principals Month is officially recognized throughout the country with national and state resolutions supporting the event, as well as acknowledgments from U.S. senators and representatives and other government officials. So we would like to recognize all our principals that are here tonight for your hard work and dedication to Southwest. If you could please stand up and come to the front for a group photo. Oh, I can't talk to her. I'm like, oh. so refreshed after all day. Especially Joseph. Hey, where's your jacket?
There we go. And smile. And 1, 2, 3. Let me take 2. And sponsor, can you move it? There you go. All right, ready? And 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Looks good. Thank you.
So did y'all bring any parents? We're very proud of our principal, Lydia Collins.
And then our last recognition for tonight. So a lot of the people we're recognizing now, a lot of them said, we were just doing our job. We don't want to be recognized. And really, because what happened a few weeks ago, as y'all are aware, we had an incident, an unfortunate incident with an active shooting near some of our campuses. So we went on a lockdown for Crewald and Big Country. But the way that everybody handled it and the way that everyone just kind of stepped up, it was amazing. Bexar County Sheriff's Office will be recognizing Southwest and the different departments and campuses for their immediate action following the event, setting up an incident command center at Crewald Elementary. So we were there assisting Bexar County Sheriff's Office. There were several individuals involved bringing food and services. Child nutrition department was out there, transportation. So we would like to recognize, just please stand when we call your campus or department, Crewald Elementary, Big Country Elementary, our Southwest Police Department, Safety and Transportation, Mark's area, Brandon as well, for bringing pizzas to all the deputies. They were hungry. Yeah, he brought the food. We have transportation.
Before I got there.
A couple pizzas.
Our Southwest High School team for being there as well. Scobie Middle School as well for their actions. And many members of the business and finance team, as well as our child nutrition department and custodial staff at Crewald. And Winston Gatlin was there as well, opened up the kitchen for the staff. So there was a lot of people involved in this, and just making sure that our kids got home safe, fast, and that we were able to assist Bexar County Sheriff's Office. So thank you again for your efforts.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
I just want to echo that. I mean, it was, that event, catastrophic event that happens in life, you never want to see it. But when it happens, you have a choice, either step up and forward or step back. And every one of these folks stepped up and forward to make sure that their children were safe and that their children were delivered to their parents in a very organized fashion. Because this event took place in the middle of what you call the departing after-school event at each elementary. And to for something to happen in the middle of that, and then everyone their reaction to it within minutes. Within 2 minutes, all students were in the building, they were safe, all buses were stopped, so transportation was a big part of this, and that communication. And I can tell you that Bexar County Sheriff Office really took notice of everyone working collectively and everyone working in one strand, and that was the safety of our students and community. And we still pray for the families involved in this. And we want to recognize the efforts of these adults who always put students first, and that was a validation of that day and that event, how they do that. And so thank you for everything that you did that day to make sure that it's said.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez, and that concludes our recognition, Mr. President.
Thank you, ma'am. The next thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. Board members, is there any questions on the consent agenda?
I move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. The next thing on, and I'm kind of behind on this, that if anybody, the next part of this is going to be boring. So if some of you would like to get out, I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. If you want to stay, we'll be glad to have you, but I know the game is still 2-1.
No, 2-2.
Is it 2-2 now? It's a little better. Our Houston Astros have scored 2 runs now.
You just bored.
Thank you all for
Oh, that's why.
2 at the front.
How did we get the other run?
2-2.
Altuve again.
Home run or just got
No.
home?
RBI by Burke. But Altuve scored them both.
Keep it coming.
No, of course not. Now we gotta go back to the agenda.
All right, the next thing on the agenda, Mr. Rodriguez, did anybody sign up to speak today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I know. Are you picking on us again?
Just a little,
Okay.
not too bad. Good things.
Wait.
All my supplies. Good evening, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Verstuff, senior staff. My name is Jessica Aragon, community member, parent, and president of the Southwest ISD Texas State Teachers Association, who's associated with National Education Association. I'm here to ask you to use your superpowers.
I didn't even see that.
Superpowers.
Yes, ma'am.
And go out and vote education first. Early voting starts Monday, October 22nd. If we as educators do not use our voices by our votes, who will? We are our best advocate. We need to stop saying our vote doesn't matter or nothing will change. If we had all of our educators go out and vote, changes will happen. Yes, come on, I'm waiting for you. No, I'm just kidding. You want to vote for the candidates who will vote for you. That is why TSTA has a Vote Education First pledge that we can take so that we can vote for candidates who are, their position is on education. And if you go to our website, tsta.org, you can see, we have a link there where you can see where all of the candidates and their voting record. Because we hear a lot of things on TV, on the radios, and things like that. But we really need to focus and see what they're actually voting for. And if we don't vote education first, who will? This is our career, this is our livelihood. So we would also like to invite all of you and your families out to our March to the Polls event on Saturday, October 27th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Falcone Park across from Maverick Library. Join us for pizza before we march to the polls and make our voices heard.
What type?
So, here we go. Y'all didn't know that, right? They fold. They're so cool. Put them in your pocket. So, put on your cool shades and go vote education first. Flyers for our event and our Vote Education Pledge are out in the front, so if you want to take one to see what it's all about, go ahead. We'd love to see you there. We're going to have pizza, and once we have our little pizza and a little talking about our Vote Education First pledge is, we're just going to walk across the street to Maverick Library, and we're all going to go vote and get our voices heard. And on your snazzy glasses, it says Vote Education First. So go out and do our duties, right? And vote education first. Thank you guys for everything you do for us in the school district. Everyone here is a very important role for our students and our community, and we want to be sure that we're doing everything we can to keep that going. So thank you guys.
Type of pizza. I guess we blew that one. Anybody else, Mr. Rodriguez? No, sir. Thank you. All right, we move down to items of information. We have construction is first.
Yes, sir. I have Rafael Barajas is going to introduce the company.
Everybody, yeah, to give you guys an update on Southwest High School Phase 2 project, we have Mr. Rafael Bedoya with Fluger and Cole Hensley with Joris general contractors.
Did he bring cool shades?
Come on, Cole. Not today, sorry.
And they fold.
Good evening, everybody.
Did you bring anything?
I did not bring gifts this evening.
Yeah, you did. Pictures.
I hope you can remove your eyeglasses and also your earplugs if you're wearing any.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, for the record, I am Rafael Bedoya with Fluger Architects, and with me tonight is Cole Hensley from Joris General Contractors. This is board report number 5, and through the last pay application that we approved through the end of September, which was pay app number 5, Joris has completed 37% of the work, which is a little over a third of the project already. They've been progressing fairly well. The general items at the top are just typical items we've put before. The contractor staging area is still in place. Temporary partitions are in place, protecting the students in their daily use of the campus. The contractor and us are processing submittals. The majority of the submittals we're processing now are starting to be the finishes that are going to be coming up in the later part of the school year and the next summer's work. Materials are continuing to be stored on site and are getting ready to be used. And on number 4, the temporary mechanical units have now been removed, meaning that the 4 units in the mall area are now working properly and connected. There's still some roofing that needs to be completed on top. The amount of rain that we've gotten over the past month and a half, which is not typical, has not allowed us to complete that work. But Joris has provided submittals for us to review, making sure that all the items and materials they're using is the correct ones. And so we should be returning those here shortly. Some work still continues in the mall area, which is some repair work of the above ceilings that was damaged slightly by the rain. And so they're going to be replacing that. They're going to be patching up some gypsum wall that had a little bit of damage from the rain, and that's going to be done here in the next few weeks. Let's see. In the second floor above the amphitheater, they're working on you can see on that top photo there on the right-hand side, those are the study areas that are going to be in the future. They're waiting on storefront partitions that are going to be coming up, but right now the majority of the work is above that, where they're installing VAV mechanical units and devices on top. So in the item number 3 down here, we have now called it Health Careers area. We're still developing the name of the Health Careers, and we're going to come back with you with a little presentation on the signage that we're going to propose, so you can kind of take a look and guide us if we want to name it Health Careers. Health Academy is the names that we're kind of looking at right now, and we'll come back with a presentation for you to review, and we can assign a name for it.
Tonight would be a good night to get that, you know.
Yeah.
We don't have any women here.
The heel
I shouldn't have said that.
Everybody just look down.
Everybody put your glasses on.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, we will have that presentation for the next subcommittee, hopefully. We're not kind of reviewing the elevations that we're preparing for you. The work that's going on inside is plumbing and electrical work that's still going on. Joris has started to put up gypsum on the walls. They're starting to tape and float, so pretty soon we'll start to see the paint finishes, and later on will become the flooring that's going to come in. But overall, the work in there is looking good, and that's where the majority of the work is happening now. At the bottom, we have the item now with corridors that has some activity now. Joris has been allowed to access certain corridors. The primary area right now is in the back area by the gymnasium on the second floor, which is called the cave. They've already, I guess, taken over 3 or 4 corridors over there. They've removed the ceilings, they've removed the flooring, and then they're going to come back and start installing the new materials. We're working with facilities and Ms. Bunsen and her staff as far as how we can dedicate certain corridors to Joris so they can work during the school year. obviously with a focus on not interrupting any of the activities of the school. And that's something that we're developing now, and we'll come back with you on certain dates that we've assigned and so on, coordinating with testing and activities at the school. But overall, the work is progressing well, and we're still working.
Do you have any questions on the progress of the project?
Anybody? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving right along, the monthly tax office.
Yes, sir. We're right at 98, little over 98% total tax collections for the year. We usually average 98.5 for the whole year. So we got a couple more weeks to finish off. I think we're going to hit what we normally hit. Has been our trend, 98.5. So right now we're right at 98.2.
Any questions on that? All right, the financial investments, gifts, enrollment report. Any questions? All right, anything over 50,000 questions?
I didn't get
Cal,
one.
you didn't get any? James got it. You better check with him.
Yeah.
All right, the calendar of events, we have questions there. All right, moving down to the bottom, Department of Talent Management.
That sounds interesting.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, how are you tonight?
Mr. McAndrew's going to present.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
All right, we're going to hand out,
thank you.
oh, okay, where? Right, all right.
As you know,
How do you do
we
it?
started kind of a pilot with the talent management using the expertise and experience with Dr.
That right.
Cassandra, looking at our data of new
So this
teachers
James's money you're
to
giving
the
away?
district and also to the profession, how basically how we don't keep those numbers over time, and wanting to do a better job of turning years from 1 to 3 to 6 to 9, and to keep people for a long period of time. And so Dr. McAndrew agreed to take that on and to experience with that, and she's going to provide information on that journey so far this school year.
Thank you. Mr. Frazier, members of the board, thank you for letting me have this opportunity to talk to you about what is an incredibly unique new program here in Southwest. Under leadership coaching, one of the things that I want to remind you, since the print is so hard to see, is that this kind of coaching is not like any other kind of coaching that has been available, as far as I can tell, anywhere. It's not instructional coaching. That lies in the heart and the work of CNI. Nor is it obviously athletic coaching if Dr. McAndrew is doing it. So, you know, it's the creation of an environment through conversation. And that's what I want you to remember. Multiple conversations over and over again that lays a pathway, a comfort zone, as people move to the pathway and the result that they want of themselves. And I can, by the way, you'll see as I update you as to what I've been doing the last 6 or 7 weeks, I have already seen some development and changes in these teachers in Southwest. So I wanted to let you know that, first of all, this is a true innovation. You know, this innovation began not in words, not in theory. It began with the experience of the superintendent and the depth of his vision that if a person works to be a better person, that person will be a better teacher and will be a better leader. And I would like to prove him 100% correct. It also began with district support at many levels, in that the creation of the Department of Talent Management is now a formal department. And it also began, of course, unlike any other program that I can find, and I sure hope as many places as you go, board, and any individuals, that you'll ask, because I cannot find any program similar to this one. And so we hope it's successful. So the beginning work, I wanted to go through that with you a little bit. And I guess I'm sort of reading up there, but we started in February, where I met with the superintendent to talk about this vision of a leadership coach for teachers. Then in May, we presented that proposal, and it was accepted by the board. In June, I was able to meet with Katie Jarin from Holsworth, and she worked to help me create agendas, an outline, a vision, and a lot of other things that she had been very involved in because she was a very successful instructional coach in Houston. Then finally in August, we got together. We began the real work. We got together and selected the people who were going to be in the program. You know, we started off with looking at all the teachers who were new to Southwest, and here's the heart of the difference. There are about 84 to 90 new teachers to Southwest. There are about 45 that are new to teaching. I really want you to think about that. I've never been in a school district that differentiated between teachers just new to the district, and that includes Northside. We knew they were new to the district. I think the campuses were the ones that treated them differently, but we didn't differentiate. So if you look at somebody like me, who came to Southwest with, 20 years experience, ha ha ha. I was new to Southwest, but certainly not new to the work. So I wanted you to know that. We got the presentations ready for the principals, the presentations ready for the cohorts, and we completed all those things so that we could begin.
Jump over here, Sarah, on this side, just because we can light that up so we can light up.
Great, that'll be great. We're going to let Jesse do a little help here. That would be Roger. Is that better? No.
Oh, that's not better.
You can make it bigger. All right, that's a little better. Can you see a little better, Mr. Frazier?
Where are we at?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Is that a little bit
You're
better?
my checkpoint here.
Sorry, I was right.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, again, September went by, and we completed our first round of face-to-face meetings. If you remember, that was part of the promise. That was part of Dr. Verstiff's experience, in that he met monthly with his coach, face-to-face, although he moved into technology, which we're going to do second semester. We also assigned some homework. We talked about the concept of the shield, the leadership qualities that Southwest created, and each one of the teachers new to teaching, and I call them the TNT, selected a quality under those 3 commitments that they were going to be working on, and all those commitments are about being better people. And so they're excited about that. In October and November, and notice we're certainly not even in November yet, we've only been in school 6 or 7 weeks, we've gone through now the second, and we're getting ready to enter the 3rd rounds of the face-to-face meetings. We've recorded the leadership qualities that each one is selected. They have until the end of October to do that, so I'll show you that in a minute. We began individual interviews because I'm putting together like a professional portfolio, really it's for the district, of each one of these teachers. Then I've been providing research packets and books as these teachers expressed interest in a particular challenge or topic that they cared about. We were getting ready to conduct the first round of seminars on the science of wellness, that is the replica of the course taught at Yale, on how to learn to be resilient and optimistic. But the teachers asked me, because of the pull on their time, if I would do that also face-to-face, and of course I will. My job is to serve them and be flexible. We're getting ready to introduce a core values exercise. Then this is kind of, you'll notice when I come here that things kind of shift as I respond to their needs and to what's going on. And so I think that we're going to identify and create some study groups for these folks to meet together. Sometimes it's hard for them to meet together. The schools end at different times. And so if they have a special interest or a concern they want to discuss with each other, I want to have that for them too. And then we're going to start working with the data. We're going to construct and complete the first online surveys. So that's October and November. Then after that comes December, and I hope Dr. Verstiff is going to be up for some kind of celebration. We're going to continue the interviews. We're going to have, that he'll pay for is what I meant. We're going to have the discussion groups, and there's going to be a big qualitative evaluation where they really write out how they're responding to this experience. In the spring, we're going to continue the one-to-one. We're going to move into Zoom. Dr. Versip is very, very anxious that these teachers interact very personally with different forms of technology, and Zoom, of course, allows you to speak one-to-one, but it also allows you to speak in large groups over the internet. Then we're going to put together that data that we gather through the surveys, and don't forget, one of the goals is teacher retention. We're going to see how many I tell them all the time, we're so glad you came, but we want you to stay. Okay? And then we're going to have an evaluation of the program and a report to the board. So I'll probably come back in January for an update because you'll want to know the results of the surveys. I want to know them too. This is all just as new to me as it is to the teachers. We are literally, and as I tell them, co-creating this whole idea, literally from scratch. So here's the current data that we have. In the cohort, we have 43. You remember the recommendation was 30, but who are you supposed to tell no? You know, how can you say no to somebody? So we're certainly going to run the whole 43. The leadership qualities that they wanted to study, that was interesting. 15 of them committed to growth. They wanted to do things that are like collecting best practices, you know. And then I'm picking up the optimism and resilience piece, although some of them want to work on that too. 15 of them want to commit to results. They want to look at the data. They really care about their students and the success of the students. 5 of them are looking at service. And then there are 8 who have until the end of October to tell me what they want to do. So it's kind of a diverse group. I kind of like that. I look at the quotes from the interviews. I decided to bring you direct words that they said out of their interviews because I thought that that was really important. So you can, you know, I'm blessed to work here. You know, I love seeing the light go on in their eyes when they get it. But I'll tell you what impressed me. And we got the principals here tonight. I have nothing but good things to say about the principals. They have been, oh, my goodness, they've helped me. They're the words. When I ask them the question, what do you like the most about this position? The kids, the kids, the kids. There is no new teacher to this district that did not answer the kids. So that really did impress me. But you know what else impressed me? Probably because I'm from secondary. My team, my team, my team, my team. That's almost a breaking, you know, difference maker there. They depend on those teams to support them, to be there, to embrace them, to care about them. And we must do, well, you must do a good job of that in this district because it means so much. The kids are teaching me a lot. The kids are my whole world, the folks on my team. When I asked them for what was most challenging, that brought in a diversity of answers. I don't think it's going to surprise anybody. These folks are becoming more and more open and honest. They're just splendid. Learning how to help each child, how to differentiate, how to teach specifically their needs, learning to balance. Well, of course they're learning to balance. It's the first time they've ever done anything. I constantly have to remind them not to be too hard on themselves. Teaching takes practice. Probably great teaching may take years of practice. And so I want them to be fair to themselves. Being new, time management, some of the behaviors, collecting some of the data, the physical pace. They're worried about low results. They got their benchmarks back, they were telling me. And those that felt like their kids didn't do so well, they blamed themselves. That's a very noble stance for an educator. Instead of blaming the kids, you know, or blaming the parents. So I think that was pretty great. So what are the lessons learned so far after what, 7 weeks, right? Teachers new to teaching hold tremendous promise for Southwest. Dr. Versip is very clear when he talks to me in his office and says, okay, we need them all to stay. We need them all to be better. We need everything better. And then you start with 45, and the next year it's 90, and then it's 100, and you go on. And we fill the district with these folks. The best practice at the campus is to have teams where these teachers are embraced and supported. I know I'm speaking of the choir, but that would be something that you'd have to take back. These teachers are pulled in many directions. I guess you know that, but until you experience it and hear them talk about it, Maybe it's not so real. I guess we think about the directions we're pulled in. But they're looking for this balance. They have children. Our principals have children. You know what I'm talking about. Now, here's the shocker for Sarah. Teachers new to teaching go to work really, really early. Now, when Dr. Versif hired me, here's what he said. Now, you can do this, Sarah, because you'll like it. You can have flexible working hours. In Dr. Versif's mind, older person that he is, I think he thought to himself, I know, but this was such a shocker to me. It really was. I'm sure he thought, now you can come to work a little bit later, and you can stay a little bit later, and I'm sure he envisioned me sitting there with a computer and a glass of wine, forgive me, talking to these teachers. Well, that is not the way it happens at all in Southwest ISD. These teachers come to school at the crack of dawn. I promise you, where's that middle school people? There you are. One half or more of my entire month is getting to work at 6:15. 6:15 in the morning. They are there at 6:30. Now, it's logical when you talk to them. They're young. They have children. They work to get those kids off and in place. Then they go to work, and then that's how they work. And so, I'm kind of a morning person, but not a break of dawn person. But anyway, we're getting there, right? Where's Darren? I practically opened Scobie Middle School with him. Anyway, every one of those teachers responded that the best thing about their position was the kids, and I loved that. I learned, and our principals know this, but it's probably something we're going to have to look at. Teachers who are late hires. And these are people who come like about 2 to 3 weeks after school starts. There aren't too many of them. But they're going to require some special attention. The principals of this district have keen and very accurate insights about their faculty. Now, I learned this. I'm only dealing with the teachers new to teaching, but they're sitting out here. They have, so far they're batting 100. They know exactly who is just struggling so much that person's pathway may be different from teaching, all right? And they're very clear about it when I walk in the door. And they know the ones who are going to be successful, and that's by far the majority. So I'm very grateful to those principals. They're very honest. And they certainly encourage me to go and look. The principals have played a key role, and I want to honor them. They're here tonight. I didn't know it was the month of the principal or whatever, but I'm really glad it is. My job has been made so easy by their work, by their confidence. I guess they trust me. They leave me alone. It's like, oh, hi, Sarah. And then I get on and do my thing. But, here's a funny one. Their front offices are the nicest things you've ever seen. I've griped for 2 years about customer service. Well, they're wonderful. And to me, that's a big deal because I have to get used to all those different schedules and all those different room numbers, and they've been right there. So thank you, principals. I sincerely mean every bit of that. Now, I thought I'd do this for you. This is lessons for a TOT. That's a teacher old to teaching. That's me. This work, focused on teachers new to teaching, is going to bring an entirely new understanding of teachers and teaching. I have learned so much from the time I have spent with those individuals. It's incredible. The work promises to inform Southwest's onboarding, the campus leadership, even some of the practices of HR. These teachers really want to excel. There's not a one of them who comes in and said, oh, I don't think I'll be a very good teacher. I want to be a good teacher. They're very clear about that. They understand better than most that student success lies in the learning and that all students can learn. They have high expectations for their kids. They really do. Look at that last one, principals. They really like the principals. There's a question in my survey that says, how is your relationship with your principal? And they are very admiring of you and your work, every single one of them. So that should make you feel good. These people want and they deserve a voice in the work and the support of the teacher and in the preparation of teachers. They have real and valid opinions. They're incredibly brave. They really are, and they work really, really hard with one goal, to create success for our students. With the addition of this program, not me, but the program, and I'm serious about that, the ability or the opportunity to look at leadership and the qualities of becoming a better person, they're eager and ready to learn and lead in the Southwest Independent School District. So I thought I'd do this, and I'd show you a few of them. This is Perla Guevara at Bob Hope. Dr. Broseph doesn't want me to tell you that she's a top student at the University of Texas in Austin. Elm Creek, of course, there is Mr. Rojas and Leslie Reyes. She is a keeper.
Is Mr. Rojas new?
Yeah, there he was. No. No. I'm going to come back to this girl. She almost had me in tears. Her name is Janelle Pruneda. She's a first-year teacher at McAuliffe, and there she is with Roxy, the principal. At McNair Middle School, Anitra's put together a great team with Rachel Martell and with Leslie. They're ready to go. Here's was a nifty deal at Scobie, and Darren took the pictures. They all did. Thank you. The principals helped me with that, too. Darren made some really good hires. This gentleman that's sitting behind Darren came into the district and is with the special education students. And he is so impressive. And he has already been through a military career. He just has such presence and such understanding of these students. So I think he's a lot of fun to talk to. Here's an amazing one, Sky Harbor. I never say her name right, so don't tell. Liliana. This is a lady who's from Southwest who worked as a sub when her girls were in school. She wanted more. She became an aide. She wanted more. Now she's a teacher at Sky Harbor Elementary. And she loves those kids and she loves their learning. And catch this. Here's my one shout out. Guess who her teacher in the 5th grade was? Odelia Martinez. Nice, huh? These are the folks from Sun Valley Elementary, another great area of hire out in Garza, who knows an awful lot of individuals here, and Christina Pena. Here's another one. I don't think she's here. I didn't see her tonight, but right here, these are two folks very connected to Southwest. So on the right, the young man is named Bradford, James Bradford, and he's a coach. He teaches algebra. And his father is also a coach here in Southwest. So, right, Ms. Bunsen?
Yes.
I mean, he's a... And James Bradford, too. So I probably send them emails differently. But anyway, the young lady, I'm working on it. But do you know the young lady on the left who holds incredible promise is Marissa Benavides Cook, the daughter of Don Benavides. I know, so isn't it great to have, these? Oh, my goodness. Well, Roger, what did you do? Well, here is a picture of Mr. Guidry on his side. But first of all, before we talk about Mr. Guidry on his side, here we have Mr. Guidry next to Courtney King, who is a fascinating teacher of English language arts at our, English too. But she has a whole background in writing for social media. You talk about somebody who knows how to communicate and what not to communicate. She's wonderful. The young lady on her side, by Mr. Guidry, is a young woman by the name of Alex Rivas. Alex Rivas is now the assistant drama director at Legacy High School. And so I'm going to back up real quickly and go up here to Janelle Pruneda. So Janelle went through Southwest. This is the first time I ever met her. She went through Southwest, graduated, went to college. She went to, obviously, what's a fine arts college up in New York, worked in theater. Her best friend is Miss Bernal's daughter, or one of them. But in talking to this young lady, she had a really amazing experience because she was looking for change. And she went to her brother's graduation last spring. And she knew immediately that this was it. She wanted to come to Southwest, and she wanted to build a drama department and a vision of all children being successful in the arts. So congratulations, Ms. Flores. So she is absolutely amazing, and so I think is Alex Rivas. So with that, I'm going to close. I know y'all want to get on with life, right? Okay. But I want to thank you again. This has been a life changer, not just for them, I hope, but for me. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Turn it on, Rod. Got it.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is the superintendent, and we'll get to his firing later. Going into human resources.
That was a good joke, sir.
Oh. I mean, you only have the men here, and we only asked for a few things, but you didn't follow through on that one. Anyway, going on to human resources, we had the public hearing on it. Do we have questions? If none, we need a motion.
Oh, it's good.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Next thing, moving down to business and financing, TIP with McAuliffe.
That's CNI.
Yes, curriculum. Thank you for helping me. We don't fire you tonight. Go right ahead whenever
Good
you're
evening,
ready.
Mr. President, board members. So this evening, we're bringing forward the McAuliffe Targeted Improvement Plan, or TIP. Commissioner rule requires that any campus that is rated improvement required or has been designated as a comprehensive support campus has to develop a targeted improvement plan. And any campus that is improvement required has to bring their targeted improvement plan forward to the board for approval. So how did we get here? McAuliffe is an improvement required campus. So they had their domain 1 with a scale score that was improvement required. Their domain 2 part A was improvement required, but their domain 2 part B was met standard, so their overall for domain 2 would have been met standard. And their domain 3 was an improvement required. Doing the math, they should have been a met standard campus. But at the 11th hour, July 24th, after public comment, the commissioner decided to change the rules in the accountability book.
Gosh,
And
that's
so-
very unusual.
Actually, it
They
is.
do it 4 or 5 times a year, don't they?
Well, usually it goes out for public comment, and the changes they make are normally just small. But this year, it was a big change. And so any campus that had 3 of the 4 areas as improvement required was rated improvement required. So McAuliffe had and has met with their PSB and myself and their leadership team. And the first thing they did is they developed a vision for school improvement. And so the vision of McAuliffe for school improvement is that everyone improves. The students, the staff, custodial, cafeteria, everybody at McAuliffe is working on improvement. And the components they're looking at with the improvement is their culture, a culture of universal achievement, effective classrooms, and putting effective systems into place. So then they did a deep dive into their data, and they looked for root causes for why they had improvement required. And they came up with some root causes, and then they formulated goals around those root causes. So they have 3 big goals that they're working on with their targeted improvement plan. So their first goal is on reading. So they're going to improve reading scores at every level, so that's approaches, meets, and masters, by a minimum of 10%. So their strategy is that they are going to put in place a reading across the curriculum strategy. So everyone will be trained on this strategy so that we're teaching reading consistently, and we're using it not just in the classrooms but across curriculum. Okay? So some of the activities they're doing is they've had professional development on this. They're going to see it incorporated into their lesson plans. Their school administrators are going to be doing walkthroughs. They've set a very ambitious goal of a minimum of 300 walkthroughs for the school year. They're actually already at, I believe, 150? 150 walkthroughs for the year already, making sure that teachers are following the plan and having effective instruction. And then all their teachers, not just core, but all teachers, including electives, are modeling reading strategies and demonstrating understanding in their classrooms. And so it's becoming an integral part of all classrooms. And they're looking for that evidence as they do their walkthroughs. Their next big goal is around math. So again, it's similar to reading. They're going to improve math scores by a minimum of 10% at each level, approaches, meets, and masters. And this strategy is focusing around lesson plans because as they dug into their data and into their root causes, they found that planning was a serious issue at the campus in the past, so they wanted to correct that to make sure that there was vertical and horizontal planning going on, and there was evidence of that. So they are planning in their PLCs, both vertically and horizontally, and they're working to develop lessons that incorporate math techniques, not just in the math classes, but throughout all the content areas. So, because there are pieces of math that can be taught in social studies, in science, in art, in music. So they're incorporating those math techniques where they're appropriate across the content. And they're all being provided with PB on progress, data, and best practices in math. And they're developing their lesson plans that have rigor and relevance. Their third big goal is around writing. And again, they're going to improve writing scores by 10% at each performance level. And they're doing this by incorporating effective writing strategies with consistency in their expectations, not just in core, but again across all content. So they've had training on note-taking and writing to learn, and that has happened in August as part of AVID. All of the teachers are using writing across curriculum, so you can walk into PE and you can see that the coach is having the students write. So it's very exciting, the things that you see as the coaches and all the other electives are embracing this and incorporating writing and making it authentic writing that's important to the children and important to their own content. They're having a scoring team, and they're going to make sure that their writing is consistent and meets their expectations. And they're also all working on focused note-taking and writing to learn, and all of the students will be able to demonstrate effective note-taking and writing skills. They're using Cornell Notes as taught by AVID and their ELAR teachers. So we ask that the board approve the McCullough Targeted Improvement Plan for 2018-2019.
Thank you very much. What's the score of the game? We do not have 4 people here right now, so
We can't take any action.
we can't take any action on it.
Okay, got it.
So I really do need the score. Where's Roger?
I don't know.
We're down 3-2.
3-2?
Okay.
That's bad.
I move.
All those in favor? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you through the hard times. All right, the next thing is the ELAR pay for change.
We would like the approval from the board on ELAR for our content of pay scale change. We are doing some targeted work around English 2 for our high schools, and so we are looking at providing some specific PD and also some lesson plans that will be created for this specific content area. So we would like for the board to approve this pay scale change.
Questions?
I have one. The total cost of the stipends is $5,000 per person
It would be
or
for,
total?
it's 2 people that are going to be providing the support, so we're looking at $10,000.
Okay, so the total is $10,000. So it's only 2 people being affected?
That's correct.
Okay.
Anything else?
I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next thing is the textbook adoption committee.
We have Ms. Bonnie Robinson.
Good evening, President Frazier and school board members. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you this evening. It's that time again where we're selecting instructional materials and textbooks for the state adoption in the following areas, which is English language arts grades K through 8, Spanish language arts and reading, in K through 6, English learners language arts for 7th and 8th grade students, handwriting for English and in Spanish for K through 5, spelling English and Spanish for grades 1 through 6, and personal financial literacy, which is a social studies course, high school course, which is a half credit. And each campus selected a committee member, and we believe this group represents all targeted areas that we're going to look for the state adoption, grade level spans, special populations, which include GT, special ed, bilingual and bilingual teachers, and that we have various experience levels as well. We're asking the board to approve the instructional materials and textbook adoption committee.
Do we have questions?
I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
The next thing is the Voyager Soapers. Voyager. Do we have one?
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you guys tonight about our plans to further literacy in the district. As part of our literacy plan, we are looking to do some very intensive training around literacy and literacy acquisition through language essentials for teachers of reading and spelling. So the board action that I'm presenting on today is through Voyager SOPRIS, and these are for professional development materials to support the learning. We're looking at building trainers of trainers, TOTS, to instruct our K through 2nd teachers so that they can better understand how do they develop readers in their classroom and help them become lifelong learners and readers. Initially, we're looking at this as a one-year plan with the option of extending it to next year. Do you have specific questions that I could answer?
Anybody? Need a motion?
I move. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Ma'am. All right, the next thing is one more thing.
Just to be very quick, so you've heard from a lot of really great people here tonight, but I want to take an opportunity to recognize one more, Jesse Garcia, his role as Executive Director of Partnerships. I know that either this past Sunday or the Sunday coming up, we did a presentation with the University of Incarnate Word at the Haku Conference, really highlighting and celebrating the strong partnership between that university and this ISD, and so really want to take a time to publicly thank him for that and thank everyone for their hard work. There are 2 community meetings for the 2018 bond. They are both happening at the same time. Mr. Crisp and Mr. Barajas will be at Legacy High School at 6 o'clock, and Mr. Kruger and myself will be at Southwest High School at 6 o'clock. And so I know there's been some automated messaging going out, inviting folks and on marquee signs, and so and on social media. So we'd like to invite you to have an opportunity to come by there. We have some football games that are going on Thursday and Friday this week, both at Harlandale Memorial Stadium. Thursday 7, Friday 7:30 p.m. And the UIL marching contest for Southwest High School and Southwest Legacy High School will be October the 20th, this Saturday at Rutledge Stadium. Invite you all to be there, and we'll send more information out through the email to you.
People, as much as you can do on this poll for what we're going out for. This is not going to be an ordinary time to go out and vote because of everything that's going on in Washington now and what is happening around here. There's going to be a lot of people voting and a lot of people going in there and just seeing it and say no to begin with. If the people that we know that are going to vote our direction, we need to make sure we get them to the polls. Because in the past, there's never been one that I really worried about because y'all worked hard and it will always be up around 80% yes on it. But this one could be real different if we don't get out there. because there's a lot of people just going in to say, well, I am this, and say no, especially when they see a swimming pool out there. And I was corrected that it really isn't a swimming pool, it's a lot more. So if you can, let's get people out to vote. Do you have one more thing, sir? All right, under executive action and item 551.001-551.146, we go into executive session. Into regular session at 7:30. We go back to the superintendent's recommendation on personnel.
Okay, three motions. One is I move to approve the superintendent's recommendation on personnel. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Go back to superintendent's recommendation on personnel.
I move that we accept the recommendation of the superintendent that no good cause exists for Sonia Cifuentes' resignation and request the district to file a complaint with the Board of Education requesting sanctions.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Superintendent's recommendation on personnel number 3.
I move to accept the recommendation of the superintendent that no good cause exists for Juan Alvarado Jr.'s resignation and request the district file a complaint with the Board of Education requesting sanctions.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. I know you have to have one more thing tonight. Well, what is life coming to?
Thank you guys for making sure we have our meeting. Thank you for being here. Anybody else have anything?
Anybody know the score?
Don't ask Sarah. Don't ask Sarah. Thomas? Oh, Thomas has got one more. Thomas.
I appreciate everybody's participation in the Buyers Club thing, just from being a parent, but on November 2nd and 3rd, we were having a barbecue cook-off at Traders Village for our second fundraiser, and if any of y'all are interested in coming out and being judges, if y'all want to be there on Saturday, I can probably get you on the digital date.
What was the date?
November 2nd and 3rd.
We get to eat all day? That is so cool.
I have a
How'd y'all do, Tom?
I
I'm sorry.
Y'all got a number yet? How'd y'all do?
They think we got close to 40,000 before expenses.
That was good though. Y'all had a big crowd. That was a good turnout.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Legacy Choir concert is this Thursday at 7 at Lake.
Anybody else? All right, we're adjourned at 7:33.